Hi, everyone, and welcome to our Rally webinar, Build Your 2022 Recruitment Marketing Plan. I'm Sylvia. I'm the founder of Rally Recruitment Marketing, and I want to thank all of you for joining us for our first webinar of 2022. I couldn't think of a more important topic to kick the year off with, and I've got a lot of content to share with you that I hope will really help you get set up for success this year. Before I get started, I just want to say I have coming off of a cold. So if I sound very nasally, it's because I do have a cold. And in any event, if I have to like sneeze or something, I'm going to probably turn my camera off and my microphone off. And just bear with me for a moment, but hopefully I will be able to get through the next hour without having to sneeze. So let's get started. And 2022 recruitment marketing planning is a super important topic. So if you hear something that's worth sharing today with your network, I really want to encourage you to do that through social media, and be sure to tag Rally and also tag me. Great. So let me just briefly introduce myself again for those who may not know me, because actually there's quite a few people who registered for this webinar who are new to Rally. So first of all, I want to say welcome everyone, and I'm really glad that you're here. Again, my name is Sylvia, and I'm the founder of Rally Recruitment Marketing, which is the largest community of practitioners who are learning new strategies and skills in recruitment marketing, employer branding, candidate experience, and talent attraction. I've had a 25-year career in marketing, and I got into the HR and talent acquisition space in 2014 as the chief marketing officer of one of the first recruitment marketing technology vendors, where my team and I introduced recruitment marketing to some of the largest employers in the world. And I saw the difference that marketing and branding strategies were making on a company's ability to attract and engage and recruit talent. But I also saw the need to help practitioners develop these skills. And so I founded the Rally Recruitment Marketing community in 2017. And today I teach these strategies to more than 30,000 professionals through idea books and how-to guides and templates and webinars like these, and through our highly rated free virtual conference called Rally Forward. The next one, by the way, is on May 11th. So I hope that you'll register at rallyforward.com and join us. And we also produce the most coveted industry awards program called the Rally Awards. And it recognizes in-house practitioners working for employers. By the way, the deadline for the 2022 Rally Awards is coming up on January 31st. That's the early bird deadline. So nominate yourself and get the recognition that you deserve. And we recently launched Rally Inside, which is our new recruitment marketing analytics and benchmarking platform that shows you what works best to attract talent to your employer brand and your jobs by analyzing candidate engagement with your recruitment marketing content. There's a free version that's available as well for the Rally community. So check it out at rallyinside.io. And as I mentioned about the 2022 Rally Awards, I just want to say a few more words about it, that the competition recognizes and celebrates excellence in using recruitment marketing and employer branding through social and digital channels, which all of us are using today. So there are 14 categories that are being judged by a panel of other practitioners who are real experts in this space. So we're looking for work that has breakthrough results, and also honoring individual practitioners who are really moving our field forward and recognizing the next generation of rising stars. So I can't wait to see all the great work that you're doing. So looking forward to your award submissions. All right, so here's what you're going to learn today. I'm going to cover a proven framework to plan and prioritize your recruitment marketing strategy in support of your talent acquisition goals, which we know right now things are very dynamic. So we're going to look at some ways to help you manage that. I'm also going to share with you, hot off the presses, the latest recruitment marketing budget data and help you make the case for budget resources and new technology to do your best work in 2022. We'll talk about where to focus your efforts if you're just getting started, if you're scaling up your recruitment marketing strategy, or even if you're ready to innovate. And I'll share pro tips for staying agile and adjusting to the changing business needs, whatever this new year brings, and lots more. So I also hope to have time at the end to take your questions. By the way, you can use the Zoom bar here at the bottom where you see it says Q&A. Just enter your questions there. And Chase Horn, who is one of the newest members of the Rally team, is there along with Aaron, who's always there on our webinars. And actually, when we get to the Q&A at the end, Chase is going to help moderate that. So get your questions queued up. All right. So hi, Chase. Chase just popped in for a moment. So there's something really important that I want to say at the beginning of our planning discussion, because one of the points of planning is to map out what we're going to focus on, and we're going to commit to the things that we're going to achieve this year. And I know that we all want to set big goals and tackle big initiatives to really prove ourselves, because after all, in our recent job and salary survey, 70% said that they're in their first recruitment marketing role. And so if that's you, you're really pioneering recruitment marketing and employer branding strategies at your company. And there's a lot to prove. So I just want to say at the beginning that not everything you do is going to work, and that's okay. One of the biggest differences I see between marketing and recruitment marketing is that when marketers try something that doesn't work, they consider it testing. But when recruitment marketing does something that doesn't work, it's perceived as a failure. And we really need to shift our mindset about trying new things, because testing and optimization is how you're going to get better and better. In my own career, when I developed the discipline of planning, measurement, and reporting, my language shifted from I think to I know, because I had data to make decisions and back up my strategy. And I want to pause on that for a moment. How often do you use the phrase I think when you're speaking with your manager or your stakeholders? Now, just imagine what would change for you in your career if you could confidently shift your language from I think to I know, because you have a plan, you've measured your strategy, and you've prepared to report on your results. So this year, I'd like to challenge all of us to be in a position to shift our language from I think to I know. Now, understanding what works and what doesn't work is critical to knowing what you're going to be planning for this year. And so one of the most important things that we can all do right now is to get a baseline. By baseline, I mean list out your key performance indicators and research how did they perform. Whether you're new in a role or someone else was in this role last year or no one was in this role last year, can you get the data on where you were at the end of 2021 so that you can measure how you move the needle this year? And what tools can you put into practice today, now, so that you can measure your impact in 2022? Hopefully you'll see growth, and that will become part of your data story to show your impact. But what if you can't get access to data? This is a very common challenge that I hear folks from the Rally community say all the time, that they have data gaps, they can't get access to tools that either the talent acquisition team uses or that the marketing team uses. And the last time I gave this presentation looking at planning for the year ahead, there were no industry benchmarks available for recruitment marketing. And so I really didn't have a very good way of helping you if you don't have access to data. So I did something about it. We've launched Rally Inside, which is our recruitment marketing analytics and benchmarking tool. As I mentioned, it has a free version for all of you in the Rally community to use. And so as we learn what works, we're also publishing aggregated reports and sharing that back out with the community. And we published our first report a couple months ago. It's called the Rally Inside Recruitment Marketing Analytics Report, and you can download it from this URL here at inside.co. That's insde.co/FS4I. And so go there either now or after the webinar and download that report. And that's going to give you access to some of the benchmarks that we're already collecting with Rally Inside. So you have to start with a self-analysis, as I said. Own what didn't work, because not everything you do did work, as I said, especially last year. There's a lot of things that changed for us in 2020, also in 2021, and for sure will be different again here in 2022. And as I mentioned, marketing is really a practice of continual optimization. And so, you've done your analysis. How do you plan now what your recruitment marketing goals should be in 2022? And how do you ensure that your RM goals are aligned with your organization's overall TA goals? And so I want to ask you a question. What are your recruitment marketing priorities for 2022? And before you answer that question, I'm going to ask you a second question, which is, do you know what the talent acquisition goals are this year? Because the first step to creating your recruitment marketing plan is aligning your priorities with talent acquisition goals. And if you miss this key step, you might not be focusing on what's really important to the business, and you might risk not making the impact that you really want to make. This is super important because another thing that I often hear from folks in the Rally community is that they say that they're not viewed as strategic. They're viewed as tactical. They're not in the room or on the Zoom calls when strategic decisions are being made. And I really believe, because I have my own experience with this, that it's because we are not talking about what we do in a way that is relatable to the leadership at the organization. And so part of this webinar today is teaching you how to do that. So knowing the target number of hires that your organization is going to be making this year, that is a great place to start with. Let's say that's talent acquisition goal number one. Although be prepared for shifting goals given today's environment. So with those TA goals in hand, you'll start to define your own recruitment marketing goals and ask yourself these two important questions. What specifically will I do to help our team achieve goal X or to make X number of hires? And what will I do now to strengthen our talent attraction and engagement capabilities for 2023 and beyond? So your plan is really a combination of the things that you're going to do this year to help your company meet its goals this year, but you're also in it for the long term. And so what are those things that you can be doing now that are going to help set your company up for success for talent acquisition in 2023 and beyond? So here's an example of how you might write down your recruitment marketing goals in support of a talent acquisition goal, because when we're presenting to leadership, let's draw that direct connection for them. Let's not leave it to their imagination. So list the TA goal as you understand it, and hopefully it's been documented, but even if it's just verbalized, then you document it, okay? And then directly under that, list what you're committing to do to help the team achieve that goal. And make it a so-called SMART goal. So you can refer back to this slide to see how I made this example a SMART example. Let me just show you what this says. So it says that the talent acquisition goal, number one, in Q1, in the first quarter, is to fill 500 customer service representative roles, which are remote roles, while also building a pipeline of talent for Q2. And so what is recruitment marketing signing up to do to help talent acquisition meet this particular goal? In this example, I say that recruitment marketing is going to drive 4,000 applicants, which are projected to convert to 400 hires from a variety of campaigns to attract new talent into the organization, for your marketing to existing talent that are in your talent database, and also to alumni, people who previously held this role, so-called boomerangs. So notice how in this example, I'm saying that the 4,000 applicants are projected to convert to 400 hires. Well, that is going to require you to know a little bit of historical data to know how many applicants came in and how many hires were made from those applicants, so that you can know what your conversion rate is. The second thing is, notice how recruitment marketing is signing up for only 400 of the 500. I gave this example specifically because recruitment marketing shouldn't be responsible for driving 100% of the new hires. You partner with your recruiting team. And so here, let's say the recruiting team is taking on the responsibility for sourcing 100 hires, and you're going to use your marketing and branding and advertising strategies to source the other 400. So that's an example of how you can list the talent acquisition goal, and then directly underneath that, and however you communicate this to your leadership, whether it's through a Google Slides, a PowerPoint, a Word doc, whatever, you'll list the TA goal and you'll list your recruitment marketing goal in support of that. The other thing is, notice how, there's a talent acquisition goal number 2, another one for number 3. And on the right-hand side, I have percentages, because not all goals that you have really are weighted equally. They shouldn't be weighted equally. So in this case, goal number 1 for you is 40% of where you're going to put your time and effort and resources. And you've got these 3 other goals, and one of them is 30% and the other 2 are 15 each. So think about it in that way, because you need to be able to communicate that up front to your leadership so that you're aligned on what the priority is. Not everything can be priority number 1. And so here's a more detailed example of what your plan specifics might look like. So again, driving 4,000 applicants that are planned to convert to 400 hires. And so what I did here was, in each row, I listed, okay, you're going to do a campaign that's going to attract 2,000 new applications to new talent through a variety of strategies and programs like programmatic job advertising. You're going to offer a referral bonus, do some paid ads on Facebook, and some organic social media. The second row here is a campaign to your existing talent database. If you're in 2022 not tapping into your existing talent database, that is a huge missed opportunity, because you've already paid to acquire those names. And so someone who might not have been qualified previously for a role might now have had the experience and might be just the kind of person that would be a great fit. So this is a specific series of programs and campaigns designed to recruit essentially from within your talent database, which could live within your ATS or your CRM or your recruitment marketing platform. And then the third row here is a campaign to your alumni. So getting those boomerang candidates, which we know, because there's such a talent shortage, especially for a high volume role like customer service representative. For sure, you've had people who have come and gone. So what can you do to reach out to those people directly? So that's an example of how, if I were presenting a recruitment marketing plan in support of a specific talent acquisition goal, I might use a framework like this. Okay, so we've created our goals and they're aligned with the talent acquisition goals, but now we need to assess the resources and budget that we're going to need. And one of the biggest questions that I receive from the Rally community is, how much should my budget be? So we've done now twice a job and salary survey of the Rally recruitment marketing community. And by the way, this new report is like in the works, and this is hot off the presses. You guys are the first ones to see the latest budget data. So I did the analysis on this. And so we asked practitioners to tell us about their budgets for 2020, and also to tell us what they expected their budgets to be in 2021. So this, again, is the most recent budget data that we have available. And what we did was we broke it out by company size. So hopefully you can find yourself somewhere here within, employees from 1 to 500, or if you're a mid-sized organization, or all the way up to the largest companies in the world with 50,000 employees plus. And we also asked the folks who filled out the survey to break it up in a little more detail than I did the first time around. Tell us how much money you guys spend on salaries, how much money you spend on advertising. That would be job advertising. How much money you spend on other kinds of recruitment marketing campaigns, how much you spend on services. For example, if you have a consultant working with you or you work with an agency, and then what's your budget for technology and tools? So I am very interested to find out how your budget compares with this. So you'll have to message me here, and maybe we later on we can have a little bit of a discussion about budget. This is average based on how people responded. So of course, some budgets will be lower, some budgets will be higher. Now, another thing that I wanted to recommend here is to look at your plan from the perspective of programs and projects. Programs are ongoing activities. These are the things that you're expected to be doing all the time, or campaigns that are tied to recruiting initiatives. And projects are one-time activities that are generally completed in the calendar year, although some projects may go into the following year based on the scope and when you begin. So oftentimes we talk about campaigns. Campaigns is another way of saying programs in my experience. So you can use programs and campaigns sort of interchangeably, but think about what you're doing and separate it out between those programs and projects. Another rule of thumb that I've used in planning is to allocate 65% of my resources to programs and 35% to projects, because so many things are competing for your time. And maybe you'll be able to supplement what you're doing with agencies and contractors, but the key is to really know what is it going to take to stretch yourself, but not overcommit. And when you're able to create your plan, look at it from the perspective of programs and projects, and then be able to report back to your leadership and say, 65% of my time or my team's time or our budget and our resources are going directly into programs that are going to help us meet our hiring goals this year. And 35% of our time and budget needs to be invested now into projects. And some of those projects are going to help us achieve the things we need to achieve this year, but some of them are a little longer term and that are going to set us up for success next year and the year after. So again, think about framing it in this way so that they understand why you're making the decisions that you are about how to use the company's time and resources, which is your time and resources. Another pro tip that I want to share is 2 things that you can do from a budgeting perspective to stay agile. So I've worked for 5 startups in my career, and I've learned the hard way that at some point in the year, inevitably, my CFO would come to me and ask me to cut the marketing budget. And if you're in recruitment marketing, the same thing happens, unfortunately, to recruitment marketing. And this is just what it is to be in marketing and recruitment marketing. So I learned to do something. So I started creating a view of my budget that was committed versus uncommitted. Committed being what percentage of the budget was like locked up in contracts or annual subscriptions that I had paid for, versus what percentage of the budget is planned, but I haven't signed paper yet for that. It's uncommitted. And if worse comes to worse, I can stop doing that or not do that without breaking some contractual obligation that the company has. So that's one way to think about how to keep your budget committed and have some budget that's uncommitted if it happens, you have to cut. Another thing that I did was I created a contingency budget. So I wouldn't, like, if I was given, let's say you're given $10,000 as an example, I wouldn't create a plan that spent every last penny of that $10,000. I would create a plan that to spend 8,500 or 9,000, and I'd keep back 10 to 15%. Because one of the things that you never want to become is that person that says no all the time. And things inevitably are going to come up, right? They always do. One of your business partners comes and asks for this, or one of your business units now needs something else. And you want to be in a position to say yes, because you've got a little money carved out that's ready to for your yes budget. Okay, so next, I'm going to provide a framework for thinking about your recruitment marketing technology, but I've seen a couple of questions come in, and let me just answer them now. So someone asked, what do I mean by boomerang candidates? So this would be someone who previously worked for your organization and they left, but you guys maintained a good relationship. They left on good terms. It's not someone who left in a blaze, but someone who left and, it was a regrettable leave. And so maybe, their circumstances have changed and they might be interested in coming back to your organization. So that's where the term boomerang comes from. Let me take a look. Also, someone else asked, someone's just commenting that they love to see the budget data. Okay, me too. Yes. Thank you. All right. So let's talk about technology, because as you saw from the budget data, technology has its own line item in your budget. You need technology to enable your strategy. You really cannot do this job without technology. And so to really become a savvy recruitment marketer, we need to become savvy technologists. In marketing, in the world of marketing, there's like 9,000 MarTech products. There's a huge field of technology that enables that discipline. And it's exciting to see more and more technology coming into recruitment marketing. So we've got lots of choices that are available for us. So let's look at what you might consider to include in your recruitment marketing tech stack. So this is going to look new because I really rethought this. I previously created a graphic that showed a recruitment marketing tech stack, and I really wanted to think about it differently this year. And also based on a lot of the input and feedback that I'm getting from all of you, I always try to take what I'm learning from you and share that back out with everyone. So your TA tech stack is a different set of tools and technologies than your recruitment marketing tech stack. Your TA tech stack is really focused around converting candidates into applicants and then managing that hiring process. Your applicant tracking system is going to be the foundational tool that your talent acquisition team is using. But your recruitment marketing tech stack needs to enable your strategy at the top of the funnel. So supporting all the work that you're doing to drive awareness of your employer brand and influence candidates to consider working for your company, as well as driving candidates to apply. So what I've done here is I've broken it out from awareness, consideration, and apply. And then to the right of that, I've listed what I think are some of the foundational technologies that you should consider using that can help you in supporting your strategy in these three areas. So for awareness, for example, one of the key things that people are doing to support awareness is leveraging social media. Consider a social media management tool. Another one, using social media and helping to build awareness, is leveraging your employees, your brand ambassadors, your recruiting team. So consider an employee advocacy tool. In the middle is around consideration. So this is technology like having a way to have a proper career site and the way to manage that career site yourself so that you can quickly turn up landing pages to support different campaigns. Even consider having a careers blog That's a best practice that we're seeing from the Rally Awards winners, is that many of them over the last couple of years have invested in creating content and a regular drumbeat of content on their careers blog that they're then sharing out on social media, driving people back to the career site. And then alongside the blog, having relevant jobs. So these are all things that a great career site management platform can do for you. Another one is a candidate relationship management system or recruitment marketing platform, but a way to have a repository, a database of talent. Maybe they haven't become applicants yet. Maybe they're signing up and registering for an event, or they're signing up for job alerts, or they're opting in to receive your talent newsletter. But once you've captured their contact information into one of these databases, then you have the ability to communicate with them directly through email and through SMS. Another one is employee stories creation tool. So absolutely, you're going to have agency partners, and that's really important. But there's also now tools available that you can provide to your brand ambassadors, to your employees, where they can create content for you. And then as you build out more and more content, because the more channels you have, the more content you need a never-ending amount of content. You really should start to think about a content library or content management system that's going to help you manage all of that content that's being created. You know what's fresh, what's not to be used anymore. You've got the permissions that are all documented. And so it can be great for recruiter enablement. And then at the bottom of your recruitment marketing funnel is really where that handoff between recruitment marketing and recruiting occurs, is when you're able to convert someone into becoming an applicant for your company. And so what are the technologies that you need to do that? Job distribution, of course. Now, for most of you, this will come with your applicant tracking system, or if you have a recruitment marketing platform. Programmatic job advertising platform. There is no differentiation today between channels. We all know about the same channels. There isn't a channel that you've discovered that I don't know about. There's a democratization of channels. So you don't need to spend all your time and effort thinking about what channels you're going to use. If you are recruiting for enough positions, consider using a programmatic job advertising platform, which is going to make those decisions for you based on AI and machine learning. Another one is a virtual event platform. I see virtual events being used more and more, actually bypassing a lot of that upfront of getting someone to apply, attracting them to an event, a hiring event where they get to speak to a hiring manager, they get to speak to a recruiter and ask questions. It's almost taking the place of an application. So this is another place for you to consider. An employee referral tool, absolutely. And then there's some new technology that's becoming available around conversion rate optimization around your career site. So what happens when someone comes to your career site? If you have access to Google Analytics, for example, you can see how quickly people are staying on your career site, how quickly they're bouncing, they're exiting. And there's some technologies and tools that you can use that can help you convert more people or get them to stay longer. A chatbot is a great way to do that because it will instantly engage people who are coming to your career site and allow you to capture someone's contact information in a much more seamless way than necessarily getting them to fill out a form. There's also new technology that comes from marketing, which is pop-up technology. Sometimes it's called exit intent technology. So if someone is looking at a job description, but then they navigate with their mouse on their browser to leave that web page, you might see a pop-up that says, hey, maybe this job isn't right for you. Think about another job. Or why don't you sign up for job alerts for the next time a similar role becomes available? And that's all customizable by you. So those are the ways that I would like you to think about your own recruitment marketing technology investment. What is helping you build awareness, influence consideration, and then drive candidates to apply? And you may have one tool, you may have multiple tools that perform each of these functions for you. Across all of them is tracking, measurement, analytics, reporting, and benchmarking. So make sure that, either you're using one platform like a Rally inside, or you're able to pull this data from different systems. You just want to make sure that tracking and measurement become part of your discipline at the same time that you're building your strategy. In fact, measurement has become critically important to recruitment marketing. And I'm very passionate about measurement and analytics because I really believe that analytics are personal. So this is from Rally's current job and salary survey of recruitment marketing practitioners. And if you're using marketing and branding strategies to attract and recruit talent, I consider you to be a recruitment marketing practitioner. Whether you have a full-time job doing recruitment marketing, or recruitment marketing for you is not a job, but it's a strategy, you're still a recruitment marketing practitioner. And so in our survey, 1/3 said that their manager has no understanding of recruitment marketing and employer branding. And half said their manager is learning about these strategies at the same time that they are. So what this tells me is that we really need to stop looking to our manager to know how we should be measured. We need to take control of that and tell them, this is the job of recruitment marketing. This is the purpose of recruitment marketing strategy. And this is how I should be measured. And that's why it's really critical for you to create a recruitment marketing measurement plan and get buy-in from your leaders. I'm not talking about asking your leaders to support your recruitment marketing strategy. I'm saying ask them to support how you're going to measure the effectiveness of your strategy and have that discussion at the same time when you're presenting your plan. So here's what I plan to do. Here's how I'm going to track and measure it. And here's how I'm going to report back to you so that you and I together can see whether this is effective. So if you're committing to a strategy, you really need to know how you're going to track and measure it. Otherwise, you really have no way of proving whether or not what you have just done really worked. And if you can't do that, then you can't ask for budget and resources. So measurement is the key to you being viewed as strategic and you being able to make the case for more budget and resources that you absolutely deserve. So the other thing I wanted to say here is that it's wrong for leaders to hold you accountable for a strategy, but not give you the tools to measure your effectiveness. And I really want to encourage you to stand up for yourself and tell them that, or please send them to me and I will happily tell them that. So I'm in your corner here. And I've got a resource that can help you create your recruitment marketing measurement plan. It's a step towards the plan. This is not the plan. I have an example of the plan in just a few moments. And whether you're a seasoned data analyst or you're new in your data analytics journey, you can use this resource. So it's a downloadable worksheet called Recruitment Marketing Measurement Worksheet. And what it does is it shows the types of data that can be tracked and where you can source and gather this data. This worksheet isn't meant to be a repository of your data. Spreadsheets are not a scalable way to track and measure, but I wanted to provide you with a list of the metrics that you should be thinking about as you're using these strategies. And again, point you to where you can find these metrics. And some of them might be in tools that you don't currently have access to, or it's going to help you make the business case to invest in tools that will allow you to do tracking, measurement, analytics, and reporting. So this is the link where you can download this resource. You can go to inside.co/8Q85. Again, INSDE, no second I, .co 8Q85. All right, here's 2 more charts I want to share with you from our latest job and salary survey. We asked the question, how are you formally measured? And people could select more than one. What's surprising, but not surprising, is 25% of people, and we had over 500 people take the survey, by the way, 25% said that they're not formally measured. And probably some of you on the call right now could relate to that. That means this is your opportunity to define how you should be measured. A lot of people are being measured on the completion of certain projects and activities, and that's fine. I mean, you're trying to, achieve something in a particular time frame. But you can see here that, only 42% said that they're even aligned to hiring goals. And that's why I started out at the very beginning. When you're thinking about your plan, align it to the hiring goals. It's really going to get you a long way. And the other chart I wanted to share here is, what is your manager's attitude about recruitment marketing? And 2/3 of you say that resources are tight or not available. So how can you change that in 2022? I've got some way to help you. It starts by having a one-on-one meeting with your manager right now at the start of the new year to define your role or redefine your role. And say that it's part of getting alignment on your plan, on your goals. This is part of your conversation as you're building your strategy, and you're making sure that the things that you're going to be focused on this year are completely aligned to what your manager is being focused on. And so you can use this as an educational opportunity to explain how the role of recruitment marketing has changed. In my view, recruitment marketing measurement has changed a lot since I last published this planning guide. And really, with the current labor market dynamics and candidates having more choices than ever, it's clear that recruitment marketing is vital to serving the company's hiring needs today, but also enabling the company to be an attractive employer in the first place. And so therefore, your purpose in recruitment marketing has evolved to play two critical roles. One, advertising your company's open jobs to drive applications and build a talent pipeline of leads. Because of course, you know that you can't rely on job boards alone for your recruiting strategy. And so the second role that you play is just as vital, marketing your company's employer brand so that candidates will learn about your organization and will be influenced to maybe want to work for your company. So notice that under advertise your jobs, what I listed there is it says number of qualified job applicants. Why should that be measured by qualified job applicants and not hires? Because there's a timing factor that's completely outside of the control of recruitment marketing. So even though somebody applies, you really can't control the timing of whether the job that is available is actually right for them at this time, or that your company is going to make somebody an offer, or that person is going to accept. All you can really do is say that, we're going to be measured by producing quality applicants. The second thing is under advertising your jobs that you want to measure is the money that you're spending to do job advertising. So cost per application and cost per click. And then under marketing your employer brand, there's really 3 things that you should be measured on. Your strategy around awareness, which is the reach. So how many people are in your talent audience? The second one is, are you doing a good job at keeping that audience engaged? So the engagement rate of your content that's designed to attract and influence candidates. And the third area is reputation. So your employer review ratings, your candidate experience scores. And here's an example of a recruitment marketing measurement plan. So what I've done is I've taken those 2 areas, advertising jobs, marketing your employer, the 2 things that you're being measured on under advertising jobs, which is quality and cost, and then under the recruitment marketing of marketing your employer brand, reach, engagement, and reputation. What's an example of what that measurement is going to look like? And then how are you measuring that by? And then what are the data sources for that? So when you're presenting your strategy, here's what we're going to do to help advertise the company's jobs and drive applicants this year. Here's how we're going to be measured. This is this data source that we're going to use to measure our effectiveness. And then all the while, we're marketing our company as a great place to work. We're making our company attractive to potential candidates. I'm going to be measured by reach, engagement, and reputation. Here's what that looks like. And here's where I'm going to pull the data from and report back to you. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. And I'd be happy to have a conversation with anyone who wants to dive into this deeper. So wrapping up here, I want to share some of my recommendations for priorities. if you're just getting started, if you're scaling up, or if you're ready to innovate. So if you're just getting started, there are a few areas that you really should pay attention to. One is the job descriptions. What do they say? How do they describe your company? Have you removed bias from them? Take a hard look at those job descriptions and be prepared to rewrite them. Have a decent careers page, even if it's not a career site, a decent careers page that is more than just listing out your jobs. Okay. I know this can be easier said than done if you don't have a full career site management platform. There are some ways that you can do this by creating a landing page that can be inserted on your corporate site before people get to your jobs. So of course you need the cooperation from marketing and possibly IT to do that, but you need a place to tell your company's story. The other one is social media. You're not going to have time to do them all. Pick one or two that you're going to focus on, and you're really going to focus on, because you can't do social like half. You have to have a regular drumbeat on social. Think through what your core content assets are. I would recommend that having employee stories is part of your core content assets. We know that candidates want to hear from the other people who work at your organization. And then take a look right now at what's on Glassdoor, Indeed, and other review sites. What do they say? And get into the conversation. Prepare to reply to some of the reviews, the positive reviews, and of course, the negative reviews. If you're scaling up, start to think about your employer brand. It is really becoming a best practices for companies to have defined their employee value proposition. Why should someone want to work for your organization? And that becomes like 3 to 5 key messaging pillars that the rest of your strategy falls from. Candidate experience. Is your candidate experience consistent between going from your career site, your corporate site to your career site? And what does that application process look like? Paid social. Monitor your social, the posts that are getting great engagement. If you have a little bit of budget, it doesn't cost a lot. Consider boosting or sponsoring some posts to get your content, which may be not just jobs content. It might be a great video of your employees, but sharing that out with a wider audience to increase your reach. Recruiter enablement. I mentioned before, having that content library that you can pull from that they can use in their email and phone and SMS outreach. And then nurturing your talent database. As I said, some of you are sitting on literally millions of candidate records. You've got to find a way to tap into that. It is like probably a no cost way to do it. And then always creating your recruitment marketing measurement plan, not depending on spreadsheets, but having a way to track and monitor all of your efforts all the time so that you can know what's effective and be able to report that back out to your leadership. And then if you're ready to innovate, conversion rate optimization. I mentioned some of those strategies before, some of those tools that are available, along with programmatic advertising, employee generated content. Can you really ramp up your brand ambassador program and have them start to share what their employee experience is like, and then amplify that on social media? So those would be a few ways that you could think about your plan this year. Again, whether you're just beginning, you're starting from a clean slate, whether you're starting to scale up your strategy, or whether you're looking to do some things that could really innovate and help you stand out. And what if you have no budget or a little bit of budget? Here's a few things that you can try. And these these items will be obviously listed in the slides for the webinar, so you can come back to this. So without showing how our recruitment marketing plan directly supports the business and committing to delivering tangible results that align with TA goals, we likely won't gain the support for our new strategies or pave the way for our own career development. So as you develop your recruitment marketing plan for 2022, remember to stay focused on what's most important and be realistic about the resources that you need. And don't be timid about asking for what you need. It's, if you're signing up for something, you really need to be resourced in order to be successful in doing it. and continuously track, measure, analyze, and report on your results to your teammates and your leadership. It's part of you proving that recruitment marketing is effective and proving your own value on the team. At Rally, we believe that marketing strategies are essential to attracting, engaging, and recruiting talent, and we've got your back to lead the way. And I can't wait to see what you'll achieve this year. So that is it for my slide content. Hopefully you learned a bunch. Hopefully this has given you some frameworks that you can use to think about your own planning and being able to communicate your plan internally and gain support for your plan. And here's that link again for the benchmarks report that we published, inside.co/FS4I. And you can also sign up at rallyinside.io if you're interested in contributing into those benchmarks and having more access to the benchmarks versus just a static report. So my colleague Chase Horn is going to join us now, and we're going to try to answer some of your questions here in the next few minutes. So here comes Chase.
Yeah, thank you, Lori. We've had
I'll take a sip of water here while you're.
Yeah, absolutely, you deserve it. So we have plenty of questions here popping up in chat. I want to say thank you to all of the attendees who have put their questions either in the general chat or the Q&A. So what I would like to start with here, Lori, if you've had a chance to drink some water, looks like you have. One person in chat says, you talked about measuring a candidate experience score. Can you share how you're capturing that?
I highly recommend getting involved in the talent board, which I think there's a fee. It's not too expensive, but if you participate in the talent board's candidate experience survey, part of that is they will add a candidate experience survey onto your career site. And there's some things that you need to do in order to survey your candidates, either who are visiting your career site or who have applied for a job, even people who didn't get, most of those people will not have gotten hired, and even people who did get hired, and they'll report back to you and give you your candidate experience score. So it's a great organization to get involved with. Kevin Grossman is one of our longtime partners here at Rally. But beyond that, there are also just some other survey tools that you can add that will show up on the right-hand side of your career site, and you can encourage people to fill that out. Or if you don't want to do that, if you want to go the really cheapy way, is you can use one of the free survey tools like Alchemer or SurveyMonkey, and go and grab the email addresses of the last people who signed up, who applied for the last 1 or 2 months, and invite them to take a survey and tell you how you're doing. So that's what I would recommend.
Good, thank you. And then we also had someone ask, they're curious how you would respond to the criticism that paid social ads cost more per applicant, but they are more qualified than Indeed, which is free. They kind of gave the feedback, it feels like an uphill battle for them to get that increase in budget due to this.
Well, this sounds like a person who is doing a very good job already of tracking the different job advertising campaigns that they have running on various channels. And this is why tracking is so important. So you need to compare what is your cost per applicant on Indeed, what's your cost per applicant on paid social, whether that's Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever, and then are you able, once somebody applies, hopefully your ATS is able to track that person through the hiring stages. People who reach the screening stage that they've successfully screened, those are your qualified applicants. That's really as far as you can take it. And you just need to do the math. How many people from this channel, this campaign, got to the screening stage versus the other? How much money did I spend on both? And where am I getting, the most qualified applicants for the least amount of budget dollars? And the data is going to give you that answer. So, if you can get some budget and tell your boss, we need to test these different channels. Not everybody in the world is just sitting on Indeed, right? So only active job seekers are going on Indeed. Most of the world is passive. Social can be a great way to reach them. There's some other digital channels that can be great ways to reach them too. So carve out some budget to do some testing, but be able to track it and then be able to compare side by side.
Great. And speaking of social, we also had a question that's a good segue into this. They ask, do you recommend a separate social account for recruitment marketing / career purposes, or should they integrate it into a company social media account?
This is a great question. I get this question all the time. This might be the last question we have time to answer too. Just so you know, everyone, put in your questions, because what we will do is I will make sure to answer everybody's questions. We'll put it up on the Rally blog. Okay. So no question will go unanswered. There's not a yes or no or right answer. Okay. First of all, if you're going to launch a social channel, it takes a lot of work. This is not something that's measured by in months. Okay. It really is measured by in years. So you have to build an audience for that social channel, and you have to have constant content that is and great content that's engaging that talent audience. So if you are prepared to do that, it can be great, because now you have your own, for example, Life at company name, Instagram. LinkedIn will always be a shared channel between you and the corporate marketing and communications team. Facebook, if your company is big enough and you're not getting the real estate that you need on the company's Facebook page, or the company's audience isn't on Facebook, but your talent audience is on Facebook, Facebook could be a great place too to have a dedicated. So most start with Instagram. The next might be Facebook. You'll likely never have a dedicated LinkedIn. It doesn't matter. And Twitter, honestly, from what I'm seeing in the Rally Inside users, and we have over 50 users already. No one is using Twitter effectively for recruiting. So I wouldn't start with Twitter. That's for sure. If I was creating my dedicated social channel, try to see if you can get integrated into where your audience already is. And if your company already has a corporate social account, try to share that account with marketing. That's a whole other conversation about how do you make that case. And I'd love to have that conversation as well. So I think we're at the top of the hour. Chase, thank you for facilitating a few of these questions. And again, put your questions into chat and Q&A, and we'll turn that into a Rally blog post, and I will be sure to answer everyone's questions. But you can also, thank you, Chase.
No
one other thing is this webinar today is based on our new 2022 recruitment marketing planning guide and template. So it's a PowerPoint document that you can download that will get you started in creating your plan. And I'm going to ask Chase to send that out to everyone tomorrow. So look for an email coming from Chase tomorrow with this PowerPoint that you can totally customize for yourself. So thanks so much for all the questions. And my gosh, there's like 40 questions or something. Okay. I promise I will answer them all, but thank you so much for your participation today. I hope you're walking away with lots of great and valuable information to really crush it in 2022. I can't wait to see what you guys achieve. Have a great rest of your day, and let's make 2022 an amazing year. Thank you, everyone. Bye.